investment. Let me start by asking you a simple question. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to build wealth effortlessly while others struggle paycheck to paycheck, no matter how hard they work? The difference isn't luck. It's a single habit, a habit so powerful that it separates the wealthy from everyone else. And once you understand it, it can change the trajectory of your financial life forever. The first thing the rich do differently is that they prioritize saving and investing over spending. Most people focus on what they can buy today, the newest gadgets, the trendiest clothes, the dream vacation. The wealthy, they think differently. Every dollar they earn is a decision. Will it be spent on something fleeting, or will it be invested to grow over time? They understand that money sitting in a checking account isn't enough. They put it to work, whether it's in stocks, real estate, or businesses that generate passive income. And the earlier they start, the more powerful this becomes. Now, here's the real secret weapon: compound interest. Let me explain this clearly. If you save $500 every month and invest it with just a 7% annual return, in 30 years, that $500 a month turns into almost $500,000 investment. That's right, $500,000 from something that seems so small when you start. This is why the rich start early. They understand the exponential power of compounding, and they let their money grow while most people are busy spending it. Another huge difference is that the wealthy track every single dollar and avoid lifestyle inflation. When most people get a raise, they think, finally, I can upgrade my car, get a bigger apartment, or spend more on dinners out. The rich do the opposite. They maintain discipline. Income goes up, but their lifestyle doesn't balloon with it. Instead, that extra money is redirected in investments, assets, and opportunities that build wealth over time. This simple habit, tracking your money and keeping your lifestyle in check, creates enormous financial leverage. And finally, the mindset. The rich treat money as a tool, not a reward. Money isn't just something they earn to spend. It's something they use to create more freedom and opportunity. Every investment, every savings decision, every financial choice is strategic. They focus on building streams of income that can sustain them and grow even when they aren't working. This mindset shift, seeing money as a tool rather than a prize, changes everything. So what does this all mean for you? It means that building wealth isn't about earning more or working harder. It's about being intentional with your money, starting early, and letting your money work for you. The richest people in the world didn't get there by spending recklessly. They got there by practicing this one habit consistently. Start today, track your income, save aggressively, invest wisely, and let compounding do its magic. Treat your money as a tool, not a reward, and watch how your financial life transforms over the next 5, 10, even 20 years. Because the truth is simple, the rich aren't smarter than you. They're just disciplined in ways most people aren't. And that one habit can change everything. Most people look at their paycheck and immediately think about what they can spend it on. Rent, bills, dining out, new clothes, gadgets, or even a short getaway. It feels rewarding in the moment because spending gives instant gratification. But here's where wealthy people think completely differently. They don't see money as something to consume. They see it as a tool. Every dollar they earn is a choice, and every choice either moves them closer to financial freedom or keeps them stuck in the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. Instead of focusing on what they can buy today, they focus on what they can build for tomorrow. This doesn't mean they never enjoy life. It means their spending comes after the priority of saving and investing has been taken care of. Wealthy individuals automatically pay themselves first. Before paying any bills or indulging in luxury, they set aside a portion of their income for investments. This is not a small percentage. They aim to save aggressively, often 20%, 30%, or even more, depending on their income and goals. Over time, investment. These saved dollars are put into vehicles that generate more money, stocks that appreciate, real estate that generates rent, or businesses that provide passive income. The difference is that while most people spend their earnings and hope to save what remains, the rich reverse this order. They take saving and investing seriously because they understand that the sooner money is put to work, the more time it has to grow. Even a small amount saved consistently becomes significant due to the compounding effect. Another important point is discipline. Wealthy people stick to this habit even when it's tempting to spend. They avoid impulsive purchases and recognize that short-term pleasures often come at the cost of long-term security. They also educate themselves about where to put their money, understanding risk, diversification, and potential returns. Unlike the average person who may stash cash in a checking account earning almost nothing, they choose options that actively increase their net worth over time. This mindset, applied consistently, creates a snowball effect. Money saved becomes money invested. Money invested grows through returns, and that growth leads to financial freedom and options most people never have. It's a simple principle, but the discipline and consistency required are what make it powerful. The rich prioritize their financial future over temporary satisfaction, and this single habit lays the foundation for everything else they achieve in wealth building. Investment. One of the most powerful tools that wealthy people use to build lasting wealth is the concept of compound interest, though most people underestimate just how impactful it can be. The average person thinks about money in a linear way. They earn it, spend it, and maybe save a little along the way. The rich, on the other hand, think exponentially. They understand that money left to grow over time doesn't just sit there, it multiplies. The earlier you start, investment, the more time compounding has to work in your favor. And this is why starting even with small amounts can have huge results decades later. For example, consistently investing a modest sum each month, even if it feels insignificant at first, it can grow into a substantial nest egg over 20 or 30 years. This happens because each dollar not only earns returns, but those returns also begin earning their own returns, creating a snowball effect that accelerates over time. Another key aspect is consistency. Wealthy individuals don't try to time the market or chase the latest trends. They focus on steady, long-term growth by regularly contributing to investments and letting the process unfold. They also understand risk management and diversification, which allows them to stay invested even during market downturns without panic selling. Many people fail to take advantage of compounding simply because they delay starting, thinking they need a large sum to make a difference. The truth is that waiting even a few years can drastically reduce the final outcome. Starting early and contributing consistently, no matter the amount, sets up a financial trajectory that most people can't catch up to later in life. Moreover, compound interest isn't limited to just stock investments. It applies to real estate, business ventures, and other income-generating assets. The key is that the asset must generate returns that can then be reinvested. By doing this, wealth becomes self-sustaining. Your money starts working for you, creating additional money that you can then reinvest, which in turn produces more returns. The rich understand this cycle intimately. They aren't just saving, they're creating exponential growth with their money. This approach may seem slow at first, and it often requires patience and discipline, but over time, it can produce results that far surpass what most people imagine. The real advantage comes not from a high salary, but from the consistent, strategic application of compounding, which turns small, disciplined actions into life-changing financial outcomes. Another habit that clearly separates the wealthy from everyone else is their meticulous approach to tracking every dollar and avoiding lifestyle inflation. Most people believe that as their income grows, it's natural to increase spending, buy a bigger car, move to a nicer apartment, eat out more often, or upgrade gadgets and wardrobes. While these things feel rewarding in the short term, they often prevent people from building lasting wealth because extra income is immediately consumed instead of being put to work. Wealthy individuals think differently. They understand that the path to financial freedom isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep and grow. That's why they monitor their finances closely, knowing exactly where every dollar comes from and where it goes. They maintain budgets, track spending, and regularly review their financial statements. This habit allows them to identify unnecessary expenses and make informed decisions about reallocating money into investments or savings rather than indulgences. Avoiding lifestyle inflation is crucial. When income increases, instead of inflating expenses, the rich often maintain their current standard of living while funneling additional earnings into assets that generate more money. For example, someone might get a promotion with a substantial raise but continue living in the same home, drive the same car, and only redirect the increase towards stock investments, real estate, or retirement accounts. This disciplined approach multiplies wealth over time because each increment of income isn't lost to instant gratification but contributes to long-term growth. Additionally, tracking money allows wealthy people to spot patterns, opportunities, and inefficiencies that most people miss. They are proactive rather than reactive, making adjustments when necessary to optimize their financial health. The average person often neglects this habit, resulting in unchecked spending and a cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, even with a good salary. In contrast, the rich create a system where their money works harder than they do. They are conscious of habits that erode wealth and intentionally design a lifestyle that supports financial goals. This combination of meticulous tracking and disciplined spending ensures that even as income grows, it translates directly into increased net worth rather than temporary pleasures. Over time, this consistent behavior compounds, reinforcing the gap between those who remain financially constrained and those who steadily build significant wealth. One of the most important distinctions between the wealthy and everyone else is how they perceive money. For most people, money is a reward, a payoff for working long hours, completing projects, or hitting a target investment. It's something to be spent on enjoyment, status, or comfort. The rich, however, see it differently. They treat money as a tool, a means to create opportunities, freedom, and security rather than an end in itself. Every financial decision they make is strategic. They don't spend impulsively on things that offer temporary satisfaction. Instead, they focus on using money to generate more money. This mindset shift transforms the way they handle income, investments and expenses. For instance, instead of buying a luxury car just because they can afford it, they might invest in a rental property that generates monthly cash flow or put money into a high growth stock investment. Each dollar is allocated with the intention of multiplying its impact over time. Treating money as a tool also allows them to take calculated risks that most people avoid. They understand that carefully chosen investments, whether in real estate, businesses, or the stock market, can produce returns far greater than what could be earned from simply saving. They leverage money to create assets that work for them, so their wealth grows even while they sleep. Another aspect of this mindset is building multiple streams of income. The wealthy rarely rely on a single paycheck or source. They use money to diversify their income, creating a financial safety net that protects them from unexpected downturns. This approach reduces stress, provides flexibility, and allows them to focus on long-term growth rather than short-term survival. Most people miss this because they associate money with reward rather than potential. They spend impulsively, live for the moment, and rarely think about how their money could be strategically allocated to create wealth. The rich are patient. They understand that using money as a tool requires discipline, planning, and a clear vision for the future. By making intentional choices and focusing on growth rather than consumption, they build lasting wealth and financial freedom. This perspective isn't about being frugal or miserly. It's about being smart, strategic, and purposeful with money. Over time, treating money as a tool rather than a reward compounds advantages, giving them options, security, and the freedom to live life on their own terms. This mindset, applied consistently, is what ultimately separates the wealthy from everyone else.